All righty, we are live over on YouTube. And now we are about to be live in the stream. All right, there we go. That stream is up and going. Perfect, perfect. And now let's officially get started. Hello, 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 everyone. Oh, so wait a minute, hold on. There we go. We are now recording. Hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings. And welcome to 365 Creative Academy's Understanding Canva. This is actually like a part of a bigger program. So this is technically day 2 of our newly restructured Canva prerequisite for business. Now, what I teach can definitely apply to all areas of life, whether you have a business, for your personal life, if you want to use it to enhance what you do on your W-2 job, like your 9 to 5 or corporate job. There's so many uses for it. I specialize in helping startup businesses and entrepreneurs organize their business, create systems, and introduce systems to them that they can use in their business when they don't have a lot of capital and cash flow as a primary resource for their business, where they can outsource and have different agencies or different companies or hire assistants. And you really have to do a whole lot of these things by yourself. This is where I kind of come in at, where I am able to share with you and teach you different systems, expose you to different resources so that you can get the ball rolling in an efficient way, in a structured way, in a systematic way for your business to ensure its success. Whether it's a full-fledged business, if it's just going to be a side hustle to make you some pocket change here or there, I want to be able to help you get started in set a good foundation. The things that I teach here won't always be you won't always rely on them. They're always a good resource. As you grow, there's going to be different systems that you will need to upgrade to that's going to allow for more automation. But you'll have a good foundation to where hopefully you're bringing in the revenue and you can afford those. But what I teach is a lot of times great for startups. So hopefully that is why you were here, because you know that I help starting entrepreneurs on their journey for systems, structure, and just tools and resources that's going to help you. Now, Canva is something that is being used not just by smaller businesses, smaller creators. There are major corporations. If you watch any of the Canva keynotes and Canva Creates and the world, I forgot the last one they did, they show that there are a lot of companies that are using Canva to coordinate with their staff because of how the integration of collaboration is in Canva, and being able to have people on your teams, being able to easily share files. Excuse me, hold on. Gotta sneeze. Excuse me, why? Being able to share files, see changes in real time. The fact that this system is available to you on a desktop or laptop, there is that version, but there's also a mobile version. So when it comes to communicating with your team, whether you are, at your desk, whether you are remote or mobile, or the person who, you're having a meeting with, or you guys are collabing on, everyone can work from the same files, and being able to leave comments and all sorts of things. Like, the collaborative effort within Canva is absolutely amazing. Now, do know this is not a sponsored video. Canva does not pay me to say this. These are things that I have discovered in my journey of using Canva. These are the things that I have discovered and how it has made my life 1,000 times easier. I will say, for me, if you're new here and what you do is not in the creative space for making personalized, customized, handmade things, that's that's where I kind of got started at with teaching. And it was once a major part of business for me. Now it is like my part-time thing that I do when it comes to creating. But me being in spaces where there are other creatives and there are those who are setting up businesses around their creative skills, they'll say things like, I don't know, I don't like for clients to send me files. They want to design everything. And as someone who wanted to have a print shop at one point in time, when I'm looking at print shops, they don't do a whole lot of designing. They're there to just print things out. You are responsible for setting it up. And I've outsourced to companies all the time, and I'm responsible for setting it up, having it be the right size, the right dimensions, the right quality, and being able to communicate with them the size that I want it to be. And I just send it off, and then they print it out. They either ship it to me, I go pick it up, things of that nature. I hear a lot of people say like they don't want people to create things. They don't want them to send them anything. I don't work. I'm not that way. I have learned in the HS Sync 365 prints part of our business and our HS Sync 365 design part of our business that there are those who know how to use Canva, and it works out so amazing when they are able to share that Canva file with me. That's now one of the first things I ask when I am taking on an order. Like, where was the file created at? Because if it's Canva, I ask that they share that file with me, because I can look at that, or my team can look at that and see if, okay, this isn't going to work. Now, we can fix it for you. There is a charge for that. Or we can give them directions on what they need to fix. A lot of times they're fixing those things like in real time. By the time we come back to that file, because it's open, those changes are fixed, we are able to go ahead and process that order. That has been a game changer for me in business when it comes to my customs clientele and them using Canva, because I don't have to go and let's say they'll send me something, or they're uploading, or I don't really do the upload on the website. For me, everything is always emailed to me or sent to us, but I don't have to go to that email, open it up, download it, go look at the file. Then I have to send it back to them, and then wait for them to send another one. I have to download. Every time they're doing this, because I have to download it to be able to have that file on my computer. Every time that I'm doing this is taking up space. Then I have to remember to go in and I have to delete these things. And it was just a constant back and forth. And I'm always the one that has to go in and delete stuff, because it's making my computer run kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because downloads go straight to your hard drive, right? Everything else I put on an external hard drive. Well, Canva has made it where I can see their design without actually downloading it to my computer until I am ready to actually print it. When I say it is game changer for me, it has been game changer. So take that little professor, that pro tip. If you have not started incorporating using Canva with your clients, try it out. Maybe some that's like you know that they can handle, like designing. Let's see if they can like go in, edit. Like for those of you who have templates and things of that nature, there are certain ways that you can protect certain things, but then have them add like text and things, like their names, and they go in there and change that, and that frees up time for you. They send that file, or they make sure, you go back into that shared file, you are then ready to print it. I can attest to the fact that it has been a game changer for me, with the world at large learning and using Canva. And when they come to people like me, so if you are frustrated with your clients and them not knowing what to do, and you're like, I'm not an instructor, I'm not going to teach them, have them come to one of my trainings. Allow me to help them help you make your life a whole lot easier. Don't think that just because they're designing, it takes away from whatever it is that you're doing, because they don't have the heat presses, the printers, the glue guns, the paper, the this, the that. What you do in printing and actually producing it and cutting things out, they don't have those things. But why not take one thing off of your plate in the designing part of it? Because that can take a long time. So that's just a little pro tip for all of my folk who are creatives. Now, for those of you who you're like, what the heck is she talking about? Because you're not in that space. And I've shared, you're here because I spoke in a community that you're in and your business is totally different. I got some things for you too. and some suggestions on how to use Canva. So don't worry about it, okay? There will be content and like information and lessons that you can take away from this as well. In today's session, what we're going to go over is the interface, the design interface of Canva. Yesterday, I went through the homepage and kind of just outlining some of the features and tools and things that you can do with Canva, like presentations, creating design briefs, like through the docs. They have sheets for spreadsheets and calculators and organizers. You're able to create things for print. You're able to do websites, emails, forms, presentations, YouTube thumbnails for your business, for your website. We went over all of the possibilities. Please remember, Canva is set up to service a very, very large demographic and community. Everything that is within Canva and everything that Canva offers won't apply to you. And that is okay. Pace yourself. Don't try to take on learning every single intricacy of Canva. You are going to burn yourself out if you do that. When you set goals and you know exactly what it is that you need to learn, what you need to prioritize, what you need to master for your business or your personal endeavors right now. What do you need for your personal development, your professional development, your business development in this moment? Focus on those things and the rest will come, because the more things that you learn and master, the next thing becomes easier, because a lot of the times they're going to build on each other. And as somebody that's been in graphic design and creating visuals for nearly 3 decades, almost 30 years, I'm at like year 27 from when I started this when I was in high school. It's so much easier when you build on your knowledge and not be impatient with the process. Be patient with the process. Give yourself grace. This is going to be a pretty long training, about 2 hours long, give or take, with questions and things of that nature. So it's a lot to consume, but you have a free playback of this. Come back as many times as you need. I'm going to have my team try to break it down and do timestamps for certain things so that you can easily go there. But I encourage you, create your own timestamps. Create your own notes in the comment section over on the YouTube feed of like the timestamps of where certain things start at, like what that section was. Create timestamps for yourself so that when you come back to the training, you are able to click on that time and go right back to the part that you need. If you can't watch the full, like go back and rewatch the full 2 hours all in one sitting. If you have to leave this live training today, it will be available for you. Like I said, utilize those comments, run those comments up and put your timestamps in there. All you have to do is just look at the time. If it's like 10 minutes in, you're going to put 00, a colon, what is it? Semicolon, what is it? Like 10, and then do it again. And then like whatever the seconds are. If you're on like a mobile device, there's always like this little timer at the bottom, and you click that and it's going to automatically add that timestamp to it. Leave yourself a comment. It's for you. Don't think about making comments for me and for me to respond to it or answer it. Now, if you have a question, you are more than welcome to put those questions in the comment section, but utilize the comment section as your own personal like notes section. Transfer it to a notebook later, but in the moment, put that timestamp, whatever your question is, or I need to come back for this. If you have this will be great for, I think yesterday someone was like, my dance flyer. Someone actually created a flyer right as we were going through the training, or right after the training. She was able to complete a flyer for her dance class. If it's something where it's like, oh, this is going to be great for this assignment, this is going to be great for church, this is going to be great for work, like come back to this, study this for X, Y, and Z. Oh, I needed this for that birthday invitation. Use the chat as your own personal notes section. That way you don't forget it while it's fresh on your mind. All right. So that's a little house rules and how to navigate this training. Next thing we're going to go into is questions. I start every single session with questions. I will take no more than 3 hands. Try and keep it really concise with, like, if you have a specific question about Canva. And even if I don't answer like right in the moment, I will make sure that when I get to that part of it, I'm going to say such and such, this is the answer to the question that you had. All right. But first 3 people to get their hand raised, we will answer those questions. Okay. Ooh, is it blurry or messed up for you guys? Because this keep telling me my connection is unstable. I have no idea. Comcast has been out here 30,000 times to work on this internet, and it is just acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I might also ask that you guys share this out. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you saw this over on YouTube, tag someone in the post, hit share, share the Facebook Live with them, share the Zoom link if you know they're able to come into the room and be interactive and ask questions. So I don't see any hands. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started with the training. While I'm getting the screens set up, I have a question for you guys. What did you learn on yesterday? What's one thing, if you were here yesterday, what is one takeaway that you have in regards to yesterday's training? Uh-oh, where is my share button? Oh, there we go. There's the share. You can write it in the chat if you can't unmute. Oh, y'all learned nothing yesterday. Okay. What do you expect to, what would you like to learn today? What are you expecting to gain from this training? I wasn't here yesterday. Okay. Make sure that you go back. And if you have not enrolled in the full training, which that playback will be on your dashboard, go ahead and watch the YouTube playback for everything that we went over on yesterday. Is there anything in particular that you would like to use Canva for? What would you like to get out of learning how to navigate Canva? And you guys are able to answer that. If you're watching the live stream over on YouTube, you are able to answer those questions as well. All of the things. I want you guys to try to be very specific. If you go in thinking that you want to learn all the things, it's going to be hard for you to learn anything because there are so many things to it. There are a lot of features and functions that don't apply to you, that you don't even need to worry about, think about, concern yourself with, because you don't have an immediate need for it. You don't have future plans for it. Now, it's good to know like it's there, but if you know that there are things that you need right now for the success of your personal development or professional development, make sure that you are focusing and prioritizing learning those things. All the things doesn't always work. All right. I know nothing about Canva. Okay. What design platform are you currently using? The website part and being able for me and my team to have things all in one place. I'm telling you, when I say it's a game changer, it is a game changer. I sell stickers, all the things I can use to make designs. Okay. That's a little bit more specific. I like that. All right. If you don't know, when it comes to me, I like to teach the things that a program cannot do, even more so than what it can do. Because if you know what something cannot do, it will keep you from, hold on one second, it will keep you from spending unnecessary time on tasks that just can't be done. And you're just you're trying to force the system to do it until you finally go and like, okay, well, let me go in a group and ask. And then someone like me comes and says, you can't really do that, right? But you wasted so much time because you did not get that proper training. People are always just showing what it can do. It's important to know what it can't do, which is why we also have this 3-month training, because we're going to teach you some things that you can actually, do. But scheduling out time and having those moments where you learn what to not waste your time on, because it ain't gonna happen, Cap. Okay, I know we like the word hacks, but in business, hacks are not the greatest thing. Hacks can be the enemy, because hacks typically take up more time. They might save you some money, but they're definitely going to eat into your time. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and no question of things on the table. Canva is amazing. It does so much. I want to learn it all. Okay. All right, so where I'm going to start at, I want to show you guys, I mentioned yesterday this video that I created with the magic, it's like the magic video. All you have to do is just drop in some clips, right? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to let this play. Oh, wait, what happened? Uh-oh, hold on. What happened? Why is it not playing? Okay. Why did it stop showing? Okay, exit video. Oh, maybe because I was in that one. And this is the part of like the new video editing. It's so different. And it has like all of these parts to it. And you have to go into each one and edit what's on top. It's like that's team too much. The way the new editing is. This is very confusing for a beginner. This part, the new editing is not beginner friendly. I'm gonna tell you that. That's why yesterday I recommended turning it off. So let's see if it'll play now. Okay. I don't know why it is doing that. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it's because, and so this is, here's a learning moment, right? Whenever you upload things on your phone, when it's videos, right? You're on a mobile device, it will show up on that device. It will play on that device. All the editing and things that you do, you will be able to fully see it. In the top right hand corner, there is going to be like, it's going to be the upload symbol. It's like a little cloud and like a little arrow and things of that nature. You have to click on that in order for that that video to be able to properly play on your desktop. So if you're going to like take videos, you want to record your content on your phone, upload it into Canva directly from your phone or your mobile device, but you want to edit it on your computer, you have to make sure that that video is showing up in your uploads, because the computer doesn't have access to what's on your phone. Okay. So let me just do this real quick. Let me find, because it should be at the top now, because I had all right, so which one is it not showing? It's not showing number 5. So, and I want to show this, and I want to show you what I'm talking about when I say it's showing the upload. So let me stop my share here. Let's go back to the main one here. And it might be hard for you guys over on Facebook because I have this background thing on. And let me turn the camera on for you guys. So right here, that little icon is why it's showing blank on the computer. Now, if I were to play this fully, and I know that you guys are not going to be able to see it as well on, let me see. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it on YouTube that well, but I'm going to play it here just so that you can see the difference. You see, it played all the way through. It didn't give me a white screen. So now what I'm going to do, where that little icon is, I'm going to hit that. And when we go back to the computer, you're going to now see that those pages are not, like those sections are no longer white, and it's going to play it through. So I'm going to upload that video, add to uploads. All right, I'm going to go to, and I wish y'all can see it in real time. Actually, I'm going to go back to the screen because it's going all crazy, like not say crazy, but you're going to see that. There we go. You see it's spinning at the bottom. So now it's updating and uploading there. I'm just going to go through all of these and make sure. So the other one I think was number 10. It didn't have it. So let's go back in. Okay, maybe now it'll play. Okay, so that took that. And what this also did was that one video probably affected multiple pages or scenes in it, because it actually is splitting up that video itself. So let's see now how it plays. All right, I don't know why it's still thinking like that, because it is definitely uploaded. Let me make sure that my Wi-Fi is on my phone. It is. Let's refresh this and see if we don't see the videos. Okay, so it's still processing. Yeah, it's still processing. So we're going to let that process. It normally doesn't take this long. And you see where it is circling here, 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 and here. All 5 of those scenes came from the same video. So its AI system, like its AI processor, broke up that one video and it made like this longer video and combined it with like screenshots that I had and other things. So I'm going to just let that go. And then, yeah, I don't know why it's taking forever, but it is on my page if you want to see the full video. So I was able to still download it from my phone and then post it right to Facebook. But if I come on the computer, I'm not able to see it and download it until it finishes processing. So we'll let it do that and come back to this one. And hopefully it is working at that point. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and let me pull my chat back up so I can see. All right, so we're going to go into a design. I'm going to exit out of this. We're going to go into here. This is the file that I provide to those who are in the full training so that you are able to follow along and be able to click on the different things. So I'm going to utilize this file to go through the design interface. We're going to break this up into a couple different parts. We're going to go over the top bar. We're going to go through what's here in the side panel. And then we're going to look at the actual design interface, things like adding pages, adding transitions. As we click on different things, there's going to be a floating menu that comes up. This floating menu changes for every single thing that you click on. Ooh, excuse me. It changes for everything that you click on. So the floating menu looks different for text. It looks different if it's a graphic, if it looks different if it is an image, if it is a chart, if it is a form, if it is a shape. It always changes, but everything that you click on will have a floating, technically two floating menus. There's the main one, and then this is one kind of like a quick action, like leaving a comment or like a note and a comment, especially if you're collabing. The Ask Canva, where it can analyze what is on the screen, and you can ask it to give you suggestions. What is that? Like what does it think of the design? Important note: whenever it comes to anything AI, don't take it as Bible. If they provide certain suggestions and you're on the fence and you can maybe, okay, I can see that, and you want to make those, don't feel like every suggestion not Canva, any AI makes to you, that you have to make those adjustments as if it is like this all-knowing system and brain, and it's just always right. AI is not always right, okay? But we can use it as a tool and a resource to help us, kind of streamline things. Maybe it sees something that we don't see. Like I've had plenty of times where I design and it'll tell me, oh, it's too busy. And it really isn't. And these things need to be there. Like you don't know what the programmer of whatever that AI system is, that person might be a minimalist. And that kind of shows up in their programming and how that AI, like how it responds to you and the feedback that it gives to you. So take it with a grain of salt whenever you are using AI tools where you are asking for feedback, okay? And then like Magic Write is using it's Canva's version of ChatGPT, basically. This is to lock either the position of something, lock the whole entire page, to duplicate an element, to delete an element. And then when you go to more, there's more items here. I am showing the desktop version of it. These things look a whole lot different from the mobile version. Within the full training, we will have days where we are dedicating to understanding Canva from the mobile version, because it is slightly different in how you select things and how you maneuver through Canva. All right. And then we're going to go over some of the, well, not some of, but the options down here as well. So starting at the top, the same three lines takes you to your main, like to open up the menu, and it's just going to pull this little piece up here where you can go to Canva. You'll see things that you've starred, and there's just different options there. We can close that. Your file. This is where it will tell you information about the file, what the name of it is. I encourage you to name everything and give it a unique name. If you are using the templates from within Canva, if you are using a template that you have downloaded from someone else, or if you're starting a new design, try to always title them. You can title it here, or you can double click over here to change the title. Underneath that, it tells you what type of file it is. Is it a multi-design? This is a newer feature. They're released either early this year or like at the end of last year, where they allowed you to have multiple sizes to your Canva design area. Before, it was like you can do multiple pages, but it was one size and one size only. Now you can mix and match. You can add a spreadsheet to this design. So having one document that have all of your assets for a particular project, a particular order, you can have all of that in one space, okay? And you can do different sizes. I'm going to just go back to, my world. This may help some of you guys. If you are someone that does party favors, whereas before you had to have like your chip bag in one design. If you had your Capri Sun, it was in another one. Well, if you're not doing them where it's set up like on an 8.5 by 11, like ready to print, but if you're doing an actual template, you had to have that on another one. If it was a button, if it was a yard sign and a stole, but you're utilizing some of the same colors and pictures. And instead of like jumping back and forth, especially if you're on a mobile device, they've made it where you can have all of those different sizes. You can have something as small as a 1x1 and something as large as a 2-foot by 4-foot banner that you are designing, all within the same design area. And as you click on the different windows, you would see like it'll come up in the proper size. Okay. So here it tells you if it's multi or if it's all one. Each of these, there's an icon at the bottom, and that tells you also what type of file that is. So I'm going to come over here to this one. And so see, this says that it is a mobile video. If I come here, this is an Instagram post. So all of these are sized for an Instagram post. So you can always look at that little piece right there to find out what the size of the design page is. You can create new designs here. If you're done with one, and instead of going back to home, you click on this, it's going to start a new design. Instead of you going to a new window, finding Canva, going in that way, you can just click create new design. It'll open up a new window. This is where you can upload files, but most times we're doing it through here. You can see that that icon is the exact same as the one here. It's also on the home page. And there's a difference in uploading from the home page and uploading via the in the design area. And we go through that in like the full-on training because that takes up a lot of time, like kind of breaking those things down. That video is already in the main training. Your settings. The most important things in your settings is going to be turning on your rulers. If you are someone who likes keyboard shortcuts or just want to be a little bit more efficient and do things a lot quicker, I recommend that you learn keyboard shortcuts. So if you hold down Shift and R, it will toggle on and off those rulers and guides. Here, you can add guides and customize them. So like here, if it was just 12 columns and this isn't what I want for this, this was like a newsletter, but I wanted to have exactly like where each column of text needed to be at. So I went in and I created my own custom set of guidelines. You can adjust the number of columns, the gaps, that's like the part in between here. Your margin is around the sides. So columns will go up and down, rows will go side to side. So if I come to this one, you'll see how this grid is set up, and it just helps you align things. I'm going to cancel because this is the one that I needed for mine. Okay. Here you can also completely clear the guides. You can lock your guides in place, because if your guides are not locked in place, as you're clicking on elements and moving them around, you can easily click on your guides and end up moving them. There are some guides that you may want to be very like to be stationary and stay there, but there are going to be times where you need guides that you can easily move. So just be mindful of that as you are like designing. Okay. Showing margins really doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless you have added margins in, because you can't print directly from Canva. You can't attach a printer here. So there's no way for you to know like the true margins. Not even really sure. Maybe maybe that means that they'll have that eventually, but margins really means absolutely nothing. Your print bleed doesn't really mean anything either. And then just showing the comments if you're collaborating. So this is how you toggle all those things on and off using English formulas. And then when it comes to the playback, you can decide how you want that to default to play, to save on resources, like you're okay with seeing it like in draft mode and things of that nature. We're going to jump down. It says save, but Canva will do automatic saves. But if you want to be on the safe side and make sure that something that you have done saves, just in case like anything shuts down, like right when you're in the middle of it, you can always come over here and just click save. It's also here at the top, but it does pretty much automatically save. Move allows you to move it to different folders. You'll learn more about that when it comes to projects and compartmentalizing things, just putting them in different folders. You can use Move for that. Making a copy. This is really important. I recommend making a copy of any templates and things that you open up so that you don't have to always go back to the download. Like if you download it from someone, you purchased a template, you are able to make a copy of it, and the copy lives in your designs as well as the original, and you can put them in a project folder, and it's going to be easier to go back to it. Also, with making a copy, you can go to the version history, and as you're making changes, it's going to show the changes. What I also love is it tells you who made the change. So if you are working with a team and they have access to the file as they're changing, it's going to tell you who made that change. So somebody goes, oh, how did this get like this? I don't know. It wasn't me, because they're afraid to. So your team, some of your team might not like this because it's going to hold them accountable. It's going to expose some things, but it shows who made changes. You can always go back to an old version. That's another thing that I love about Canva is it's storing all of your old versions. So if you kind of did all these changes, like I don't really like this, and you want to go back, you can. And you can keep the original changes as well as the new ones, because when you click on that version, you can either choose to restore it or simply make a copy of that version. Now you have the two. Isn't that cool? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that's kind of a fire feature. So we're going to X out of that because I don't want to change anything. Then, of course, moving things to trash and deleting it, that will be the entire project. They are stored there for 30 days. So you can throw it away. And then, y'all remember that movie that they threw away. He was throwing away the songs. But then when his sister was singing, it's like he went back and it's like, oh, wait, no. And he's pulling the papers out of the trash. It's going to hold it for you, okay, for 30 days. I think it's 30 days before it deletes it, or you can always go in there and just empty the trash. Find and replace. Amazing, 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 amazing. I'm going to have you explore that on your own. If you really want to know how this tool can benefit you, I highly recommend that you join the training. But you can play around with this one and see how you can maybe use it once you see what it does. But if you really want to know how you can use it, join our full training, because we have a full breakdown and just showing the benefits of this amazing tool. All right. And then, so there's that for file. Resize is a pro feature. Resize allows you to take a design and put it in a different format. Now, it is not going to completely make it's not going to make everything where it is, what's what I'm looking for? It's resizing it and shrinking things, blowing things to fully fit it. But at least all of the elements, including any backgrounds, including anything that is locked, is going to duplicate itself in a different size or in the new size that you can arrange it. I'm going to show that with this one right here. What you can also do is resize individual pages. It doesn't have to be the entire document. Before, it was beneficial to change the entire document if you wanted to resize it for different things. Now you can do individual pages. So I'm going to go to custom size. Well, actually, no, I don't want to do custom size. I want to change this. I'm going to go to social media, and I'm just going to go Instagram post, right? I want to come down here because actually, let's back up. Well, I'll explain it, then I'm going to back up. So I'm going to come down here because I want it to know that I don't want to do all of the pages. I only want to do page 9. So I'm going to uncheck all pages, and you'll select current page. If you're not on that page, you'll find it and you will click on it, and then you'll hit done. If you copy and resize, it will copy that or create a brand new document of just that page in the new size. If you resize this design, it is going to completely change page 9. If you want to keep the original, but also have a resized version of that particular file or that page, you have to make the duplicate first. So you're going to come down here to the bottom and we're going to duplicate this page. And now when I go to resize, I'm going to go social media, Instagram post. I'm going to go page 10. And I want to resize it in this design. So I'm going to go resize and you're going to see this change. So now that it's in the Instagram size, we see that it doesn't quite fill out the page the same way. This background is a longer background. The fruit, that's a wider image. It's going to kind of sort of keep it in the same size. So we don't see all of those components and some things are really, really small. So you would need to go in here and make adjustments. And so this is, well, because this is the background, you're not going to be able to. So here is your first, what Canva cannot do. Canva does not allow you to stretch and skew images. It is going to keep it in its proper proportions. So if I double click, now this one I can change a little bit because I have some extra space. All of this space at the bottom, like this is the end of the page. So I can resize this to the point where either the sides line up to here or making it the size of like vertically. So I'm going to shrink. Well, I can't shrink it down. Let's go. All right, you're in my way. All right, hold on. Let's double click. And I'm going to pull this up because I couldn't get to the bottom. See, I'm trying to scroll down and it won't let me see what's there. That's annoying. That is one of the most annoying things about Canva. So if I just come here, the top is already at the top. So it's not going to let me change it. I need to push this up. Well, kind of meet it. Well, I'm going to go bring it down some, shrink it down, move it again, shrink it down. Like I have to be able to see the edges of it. Now you also can, I'm going to undo most, I'm going to make this bigger and bring this down. You can zoom in and out as well, making the page smaller so that you can see everything and then move it. But then you have to go back to zoom. Sometimes for me, it's easier just to move it around. You decide what's going to be easiest for you. So with this at its, I guess you would say like max size from top and bottom, I still will not be able to fully see the orange, the lime, the lemon, and the lime. There's no way to do that. You cannot squish it to show all of the parts. Okay. You would have to detach it from the background and almost like make one smaller and then duplicate it so that you can see the rest. That's the story for like another day to really see that in action. We do have a session where we're kind of doing those modifications. But this is all you'll be able to see. So you now have to decide, well, which part of this is most important to me. So maybe here where I have a little bit of the orange, a little bit of the grape, a little bit of the lime, a little of the lemon, none of the lime. And then you would go and figure out how you want to resize. We have to zoom back in this area so that it takes up space. So while this may work for, let's say, a YouTube, I want to say this is a YouTube, what is this one? Yes, this is, and when you click on it, it tells you exactly what it is and what the sizes is. So this is a YouTube banner. So while this may work for a YouTube banner, I wouldn't be able, or you wouldn't be able to, or whoever it is, wouldn't be able to take this and just make it like, let's say you want to also promote on your Instagram about your YouTube channel. You're going to have to make some modifications and rearrange things in order for this to look visually appealing on Instagram. Does that make sense? If I'm making sense right now and this, you're tracking this, go ahead and throw some fire in the chat or put a number 2 in the chat. All right. So someone says, didn't know you could resize. Love that. And resize comes in hand. Like it really, 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 really is like a gem, and it's like a game changer on the mobile version. Because if I was on the desktop version, I could have multiple windows up with the different sizes. But on the desktop version, you can't. And I can copy and paste from one to the other on the desktop version. From the mobile version, you can't do that. Only one screen exists at a time. Okay. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the fire. So yeah, that's that when it comes to resizing. And you can go to custom size, and if it is in pixels, here's another really, really important one, right? Whenever you're looking at a file that's like a social media file, it's going to tell you that file in pixels. If you had someone create a design, like as a template, it might be in pixels. You want to see that in inches because you don't know how to read pixels. You don't know how big that should be, right? You can take it and convert it into inches. Okay. So how you'll do that is I'm going to come out. I'm just going to, hold on. Come on. We're going to come back to here. I'm going to go to resize. And we're going to go custom size. Now, normally it will give me, because this is not the size of this. So let's go back. Let me see. This is 2560 and 1440. Why is it not showing up though? Because normally you go to custom, it gives you whatever that size is. That's normally the first thing that pops up. That is so weird that it's not showing that. Let's go to resize. Okay, see, this one did it. This is the size. I don't know why that one didn't do it. Normally, the first thing that comes up is whatever size it is. So this says 1080 by 1350. If I come here, it'll say 1080, 1350. Even though it's different, that's a multi-page, it's supposed to still show up, which is kind of weird. But if you go to resize, go to custom, and you come here and you go from pixels to inches, it tells you what that is in inches. And now when you click on it, nothing will change. I'm going to say resize this design. Watch how my ruler goes from pixels to inches. So if you ever wanted to know what it was in inches, especially when you go to resize something, but it's showing it to you in pixels, you have to have resize in order to change that. If you have the free version, you can still create a page that is that size, but you have to come down here when we get to it, and you're going to go here, you're going to go custom size, and then you're going to use that, and then you just have to copy everything over. Okay. But now you have inches, and when you click on something and you go to position, you're going to see that in inches instead of this one is in inches. Oh, I think it changed. Oh, I changed the whole thing instead of one page. All right. So I wanted to really just change one page because you can do that as well, changing just one page and everything else will still be in pixels. Let's do this again. Resize. I'm going to go custom size. I'm going to go inches. I only want to do page 4 and then done and resize this design. See, this stays in pixels. But if I come here, it's in inches. All right. So that's resize. Editing just allows you to decide how you want, like, is it where it's full on editing, making changes? Is it read only? Whenever I need to protect something and I don't want to change anything there, I'm going to put it on read only, but it only stays in read only mode or commenting only mode when you're on that file. Once you close it and open it back up, it is going to be back in full on editing. I wish there was a way to fully lock pages where you cannot make the changes, but when they're on your design area, you really can't. And I don't like that because I've made the mistake when it comes to templates where I've changed something on it and I've technically destroyed or I've altered something that I have a template link assigned to. So here it's your, again, your name, the title of it. Here will show you everyone who is able to see that file, make changes to that file, or whatever permissions you gave to them. So everyone this is shared with. Any collaborators will show here. This is your analytics for how many times it was viewed, how many times it was changed. I love the analytics that Canva gives you. This is any comments. So as you are collaborating and you're making changes and you're brainstorming, any comments. So like, let's say somebody isn't able to be on it. You can go on there. You can ask a question. You can ask your assistant, hey, what is this? Especially like on the spreadsheet. What was this transaction for, or why was this change made? Or you can put a note, like let's say you're looking at it. You might be someone who is not really design savvy, right? If you're in a business and you're not design savvy, you can have your, like the design person, your assistant, they're designing it. You're looking at it and you're like, I don't really care for that. You know how before you have to send a voice memo or send a text message, you can go on there, you're looking at this design and you're going to leave a note for the designer or a comment and says, hey, can we move this to da 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 da? Can we change the color to this? And those comments live within the design instead of them having to go and look at a text. Oh, I didn't see the text message. I didn't see the email. You're putting those recommendations, those comments right on the design. You don't have to be a designer in order to use Canva and have it work for your business. Okay. And then this just says what you want to do with this, or whether or not we're publishing this to Meta Ads. Sometimes it says preview, things of that nature. And then, of course, share is how you, it's a couple different things, how you download it, how you save it. And we're going to go through this on its own. All right. So that's everything on the top bar. Okay. Now we're going to go over the left side panel. All right. Design allows you to see pre-made designs from all of the amazing Canva designers. And they will show you suggestions based off of what type of file you suggested. So if you're in something for sheets, it's not going to show you a YouTube banner. It's going to show you suggestions and starting points for spreadsheets. If you're in a YouTube banner, everything that you see there is going to be sized for that. It doesn't mean that you have to use it exclusively for that. You can go in and see certain things and then copy and paste. You might see an inspiration for a font or some type of element. You can still open those things up and then copy and paste and move them around. But whenever you go into design, it's going to give you design ideas and inspirations for whatever type of design file you selected when you pick creative design. So whether it's a reel, an Instagram post, a TikTok post, a banner, if it's something for print, it gives you different suggestions. Then you can go in there and also put in. So if we go to design, if I go menu, you're able to give it suggestions and it's going keywords and it's going to give you some results back. All right. Whether it is an actual template, if it's based off of certain styles, it will give you results back. All right. So you can put literally anything in here. Promo flyer. Okay. Party flyer. Invitation. Pitch deck. And it's going to give you all of these suggestions where it's still in this sizing, but there's already designs and like elements kind of laid out for you to start with. All right. Your elements is where you'll spend a lot of your time. There are shapes, graphics. Graphics mainly are like vector files. So there's a lot of crafters and creatives on, with me. This is your SVGs basically, right? We're going to come here. So this will be things like the difference between a photo. This is a photo of a pencil. This is a graphic of a pencil. The differences are here. If I want to change any parts of this and change the color of it, it's going to change kind of like everything on it or whatever that color lives at. So if I go into edit, I'm going to go to adjust, and now we see these color circles here. If I select green and I make it purple, you see that it's changing the pencil as well. That means that there is some shade or tone of green even in the main pencil part, and it's going to change that. It's also going to do a blend mode, and the background color is interacting with whatever color you pick for the top. So it's not going to be like exact when you click on them. Okay. It's not going to give you that exact color back. So I click on this really bright yellow, but look at how it looks. That's because it's interacting with that green. There's blend modes over it. That's more of like a Photoshop, Infinity, like that type of design program verbiage, but that's what it's doing, right? But if I click on this one, which is a full-on SVG, you cannot ungroup, you cannot move things around, you cannot, as you guys like, release compound path, you can't do any of those things, but each part of this is a solid color. So if I click on this color and I make it yellow, it is only changing the main part of the pencil to that bright yellow, and it's taking on that color. If I click on the blue and I make it a teal, it's only changing that one part. If I click on the eraser, which is like this peachish color, and I make it a bright pink, it's going to change that part. Same thing with the black and then the flesh part of the pencil. This is because it is a graphic. With it being a graphic, you cannot do certain edits to it. Of course, there is no background to it, so you're not going to see background remover, but you cannot use the magic eraser. You cannot use magic grab or expand. You cannot turn it into a video. You cannot edit it that way. Now, you can go in and you can change the style of it. This will change it. It will no longer be a graphic. If you change this and you do any of the edits on here, this will now operate the way this pencil is, and whatever colors are there, it is going to blend with it. Let me know if that's making sense. I know that's a lot, but let me know if that's making sense or if you need a little bit more clarity on that. But that's how like graphics work. Now this one, so that's an image because you have all of these. Whenever you come on here, like you go into edit and you see this warning, you know that it is a full on graphic or vector file. If you don't see that, then it is an image file and you have more options. You can always select certain things. Like if I wanted to add a shadow to this, I can. But now when I go and click on, you see how the colors change now. I don't have as many options. If I click on the yellow and I make it purple, that's a darker purple, but it's showing up lighter. Go to blue. Look how that's not this rich blue. I go to green. It's a very pale green, even though I clicked on a really dark green. You are changing the way it interacts with the edits. All right. Then you have stickers. So these are just like a lot of like motion ones. There's different times where you're going to use this. Of course, if you're doing something for print, you couldn't use this. But if you're making a reel and you want some things to move, if you're doing something like for your website and you want it to look like it's like writing or, like sign here or click here, there's just a lot of different stickers. You have emojis, and you'll figure out ways of like using, these different things. They're really cool to use for certain projects. Your photos, we went over that. Your videos. Oh, let's go back to shapes real quick. So with shapes, I'm going to click here. You can add text to, you can add text and fonts, words to shapes, or you can just have it be the shape and then just layer the text on top. I prefer that. I'm going to show that with another one of the design files or design pages. But with the shapes, you don't have, when you go to edit, you don't get that same menu. It's a totally different menu, and it's just showing you the other shapes that are there. So you can click on it to change that shape, but you cannot add shadows to this or glows. You can't change it. Like, this is all just solid colors. You can add outlines and strokes around it. But whenever you are adding outlines and strokes around things, and you increase the size, it is going to make that adjustment to the front, not behind it. So if you're wanting it to be behind it, you have to layer it and put the other shape behind it. And still, you can't really use the weight because it's going to go inward. So there is a certain way that you would have to set that design up. If you're in our design program, like for Canva, where you're really learning how to maneuver through it, you'll see that in action a little bit more if you enroll in that program. So whether it's a dash line, you're able to change the color of, change the color of that line and things of that nature. You can round off the corners. So anything that has sharp corners to it, you come here and you're able to round it off, and it gives you a different shape. If I come over here and I do this arrow, I can make it where it's a more, I guess, like, to me, it's like kitty, or it's just changing the look of it. It's not so sharp and harsh like edges. You're able to change that. Okay. Then this is just for the text. If you add it to it, this will be the text color. So all from here all the way to here is only if you're adding text directly to the shape. Here, it allows you to adjust the transparency. I'm not going to go over transparency for every single thing, because that is the same, whether it is an image, if it's a graphic, if it's a shape, if it's a video, that remains the same for everything. So I won't have to come back to that. You're going to see it on the floating menu, but I won't have to come back to that. Animate, same thing. Anything that you're able to animate, it's going to give you the same options. The only time that it changes is when it's text. The animations for text is different. You can do animations for a particular element or for the entire page, and it makes everything on that page do that type of animation. And then when it's text, you'll see that is different as well when we get to that. Your position on the desktop version, it shows you the position, meaning, it shows you a range and alignment and how and where you can resize it, and also the position of it. On the mobile version, position is by itself and layers is by itself. But on the desktop version, you go to positions. This is where you're going to see arrange and layers. You're able to move things around within the layers panel. You're able to select multiple things in the layers panel. We're going to go over like how to select things on here, but know that you can also select them from the layers panel. If you see the different thing, like, it's easier sometimes to see it this way, and in case something is on top of something, shift, wherever you start at and you hold down shift, it is going to select everything from that point to wherever you clicked at. If you want to select multiple individual items, you would click on it, hold down Control on a PC, Command on a Mac. So Control on a PC, Command on a Mac, and then you can click on things that are not right in line, okay? And then group them together or resize them, move them around, whatever it is that you're wanting to do with them. I'm going to just go over selecting now. Well, part of it, whereas here, if you want to select multiple things, you have to hold down Shift and then click on them wherever, excuse me, they are at on the page. Okay. Let's go back here. Videos is just like searching any other element, but they're going to be different lengths of videos. You can see there's some 15 seconds, some 8 seconds, some 25 seconds, some 7 seconds. There are some that are a lot longer, and you are able to put in the search whatever it is that you want to look for. So like yesterday, I was saying, I was really, the heck? Oh, I was right. I mean, what the heck am I doing? I was really surprised when I typed in braids, and there were like, well, this was like a 6-second one, and it's kind of showing gathering it. But there's someone here. This is a 20-second video of showing someone kind of installing a plait or a braid. This one, it's an 8-second video, and there's actually more to these, like that will show different parts of it. If you click on the 3 dots, if there are more, it'll normally say like show things like in this collection, or you can always go to the creator or the person that put it on there and see if they have more braids on their page. So see, this person has all of these different braid videos. So this is a different part. You can see that's the same shape. This is a different part of that video. I was so shocked to see like actual, almost like tutorial like videos in Canva. So explore that, play around with that, put in different ones. This gives you stock videos for your website. It gives you stock videos for your social media posts. If it's something related to a message that you have, don't feel like you have to record it yourself. Use the stock videos. Okay. And then you also can edit these videos down. That's the story for another day, but you can go in, you can split them, you can remove the background and layer things where it looks like words are behind something that is moving. You can do the same edits to the videos, and you'll see from the floating menu when you go to edit, removing the background, you can pull the highlights. So if it's a video that you have and you want to pull out like the highlights of it, you can do that. And then there's apps as well that you can control it. You can control the speed of it. If it loops, if it plays automatically, you can trim it down and adjust the size, like the length of it. There's the background remover here as well. The speed is here as well. Whether or not you want to outline or stroke around it, if you're going to flip it, transparency, animation position. And then this is a copy style, which we'll go over that one with some of the other elements. Your audio is also really dope, because we think of things like songs, but if we go back to, let's go to, I think, is it this? No, it's not that one. Let me see. Things aren't, that's a song. Okay, so paper rustling, right? I'm going to play this. You hear like the paper. Those are sounds that you don't have to go out. Like there's companies that sell like those little sounds, like dings and swooshes and booms and all of the audio effects. There before, like I've have packs, and I've paid for money to have those sounds, especially when I was mixing cheer mixes and things like that. They have that in Canva. It's built in. So while they will show like songs and things, you can do like typewriter typing. We can go thunder. Um, So if you're wanting to create content and add like sounds and things for engagement and to catch people's attention as you're in here and you are designing or putting together your content, you are able to add those little audio cues and like those sounds in there and drop them in like a whole soundboard. Okay. Most people don't know about that. How many of you here, whether you're watching live on YouTube or you're in the Zoom room, put a 3 in the chat if you did not know that those audio features were present, like they existed in Canva. Put a 3 in the chat. All right. I see she was quick with that 3. Are you guys learning some new and interesting things about Canva outside of it just being a program to design a flyer in? Let me know, yes, if you're learning some new things about Canva. I see another 3. Thank you so much for that. All right. So the next one we have are charts. We're going to kind of skip over this. This is more advanced, but like if you need to put in charts for your job, you're responsible for, showing the progress and it connects with sheets and things of that nature. You are able to build that out in Canva. You want to show projections and things like that. All right. Yes, that's what I want you to do. Definitely. I want you right now to just pay attention to the training, the teaching, like just learning all of the things. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are being introduced to some things you did not know Canva could do. Just watch it. Don't try and follow along and click on these things. The playback is there for you. Create some time, like schedule some time out where you're going to go through this to now learn these things and go to the areas that I'm speaking of, try things out, see what's there. And then if you really want to learn how to design and maneuver through it and you want those practice assignments, go ahead and join the program. I'm going to drop the link for you guys as well, just in case you have to dip out. I am going to drop the link for you right now. And there are several payment options if you want to join the full Understanding Canva program. And then if you're watching over on YouTube, it's in the description of the video. Once this is done, I'll make sure that I add it to the comment section. Okay. But it's in the chat also. Okay. So now we're in forms. This is really cool. I was showing you guys yesterday the form that I had. I'm actually going to build out one. So you can do like a form and how you feeling? How are you feeling? To RSVP for something. And there are different sections to this. So if I come on here and I go edit, it's going to ask me like, okay, these were the questions. So now I want to add something to it. A short answer, a long answer, something that's multiple choice, a checkbox, email, numbers, a poll, mood meter, linear scale, star rating. So if I go in, I add that and I will put what, how do you rate this training? Okay. And then I can put however many stars I want on here for them to go in and fill that in. Okay. And then I can always go in and delete that if I don't want it on there. So building out forms, really great. And it connects to sheets for all of the responses. So this is here, but it also has a sheet. I did show this part on like yesterday with the way that in every question that you put there, it's going to automatically populate a cell to record those answers. Okay. Tables, again, it's a table. You can put them on a regular design and you really don't have to have sheets for these things, because once you add it, you'll have the the charts maybe. So here, oops, wait a minute now. What your borders are. Now, this is one where like in here, it's not connected to a data table or a spreadsheet, But like when you do the charts, you are able to see it's here. So you can put the data in right here. You don't have to have a separate sheet and have it show different things like on your design. That's one thing I like about the charts. The tables are supposed to do that as well, but I guess unless it's the table that's here, because these are all charts. I thought there were tables here too, but maybe not. But the tables definitely come in handy in docs and sheets. Okay. Your frames. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to make that like a separate recording and starting and stopping the recording. So I'm going to come back to frames as far as frames, grids, and mock-ups for frames. But I just want to kind of come to 3D real quick. This is a newer feature for Canva. And they have some 3D buttons and icons. And you can turn things into 3D versions as well. But with these, it's like you don't have to look at it flat. You are able to rotate it, and it's going to show you all angles from it. So if you wanted this to have like some dimension and kind of be to the side in your design, you can do that with the 3D elements. So here where we have the world, but we want to see a different part of it, you're able to adjust that. All right. So the 3D feature is really, I'm finding it to be cool. At first I was like, what I need this for? But I've actually had some designs and some projects where it's been really helpful. All right. So that's the first part, or the main part. And we're going to go into frames. Does anyone have any questions right now? Comments? Y'all are real quiet. So I don't know if it's just like overwhelming. It's just a lot of information. You're taking it all in. I'm not sure if like the creative juices are flowing. So just talk to me in the chat as we're going through this. Let me know what you're getting from this. If you're learning anything, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand. Okay. All right, we are going to come over to this one as we talk about frames. Frames is how you will put images or videos inside of dedicated shapes. It's how you add backgrounds to things. If you have text and you want it to have like a glitter effect, you cannot just add that to text on the screen. If you are someone that's used to using like Photoshop or Silhouette, where you can just type out text and then crop a background to it, or do layer masks or clipping masks and things of that nature, you can't do that in Canva. It has to be a frame, whether it's a frame that Canva provides for you, or if you use an outside program or outside app to create that frame and bring it back in to Canva to be able to apply some sort of background or visual within, that shape or letter, silhouette, things of that nature. It has to be a frame. There are some apps and they come and go. These apps come and go. A lot of the developers, they will bring their apps into Canva and they will contract them to test the market with them. And once they test the market, a lot of them will pull back and they won't have it available, or you have to pay for it. Just because you have Pro, it is not all inclusive. Only the things that have a crown next to it are things that are available to you via your Pro membership or your business membership and things of that nature. But there's going to be some apps and some features. They're not from Canva. They are from a third party. And that third party will charge you extra to access that technology. One of my favorites, I use like the ones they do offer for free. The others, I'm like, if I need to do that, baby, I pay Adobe. I'm going into Photoshop. But there's one you're going to see, they have a part of it that's free, but to access the rest of it, you have to subscribe to whatever fee schedule they have. Okay. But for frames, I like it. Like there's a couple different ways where you can utilize frames. It's just making it where it's easier to resize things and you don't always have to go in and manually resize it. As you go and you drag and drop something in, it's automatically going to be in that size. Okay. So let's just go children. Okay, what happened? Okay, let's go back to elements. Graphics do not go into frames. That's another pro tip. You may want to write that down. When I talked about the thing that you need to know things that it does and that it doesn't do, graphics don't go into frames. Graphics will not go into frames. It has to be images or photos or videos. So we come here, see, that snaps into there. This snaps into this frame. Graphics will not. Frames will not snap into frames. So if you want to layer certain things, like if it's a frame, it's not going to take over. With frames, anytime you have like it, you hover over it, it is going to take over. So where your mouse is, if I go and I move this, right, I'm nowhere near the frame. It's not going to snap into it. But if I go and I move this, my mouse over the frame, it will snap into that frame. So I'm going to come back out. We're going to go to frames and I'm going to type in the letter C for create. And these are all the C's that they have. So a frame will have this horizon on it. So we're going to click here and we're going to come back to images. I'm going to drag and drop this in. I can't remember, you cannot squish, skew, stretch. So you're not going to be able to make it where you're going to fit everything, like it's going to be visible. If that frame is not proportional to the size of whatever element you're bringing in, you're going to lose things and you cannot force it into it. Okay. You can, however, double click. It's going to bring up crop and you can move it side to side. If it's something that when you snap it to it, it goes right to the edge, you'll only be able to move it side to side. You can't move it up or down. Now, if you make it bigger and you're now creating negative space at the bottom, you can move it up and down like that and move it, or move it around. You can rotate it inside that frame, but you cannot stretch and skew. You can expand if you needed to have a little bit more space to it so that you can adjust it. That is a pro feature and it's going to use AI. Know that the results are not always going to be perfect and you can't control the results that it gives to you. Okay. And if you hit delete once, it deletes the image. You delete again, it deletes the frame. So I'm going to come back to frames and you're going to see basic shapes, all sorts of shapes. If you want additional shapes, there's frame makers within apps through third-party developers, but you can use programs like Photopea, Photoshop, Affinity. You now have access to Affinity for free through Canva. So you can go into Affinity and there's ways for you to create custom frames in that and then bring it into Canva to be able to utilize those frames, okay? She says, I learned that that's news to me about moving photos. I'm learning a lot of information in this session. Awesome. Yay. I've had Canva Pro for over a year to do simple designs, but didn't know all of these features. That is what I am here for. You have film and photo. So whether it's a Polaroid, it's a film strip, it's already like in pre-designed like shapes. Some of these will have like, see, this has like this effect of this like shadow part over it. And it's actually moving like there. These are things moving like it's like the old video, like almost like film. Those are moving around that. Okay. So you can see there's some slight movement to that frame where it's not just static. Film strips, These are ones where it has like color to it. You go in and let's go back. That's the only thing is like it does kind of bug me. I wish you can have more than one window open because now I got to go back to the image. I'm going to open this up and just come on. Keep this on screen. Look, I'm going to make this really, really small, right? Oh, hey, stop moving. I'm going to duplicate it so that I can keep using it in frames. And I'm going to drag it over here. Even though it's small, it snapped to the size of that frame. Frames can eliminate the back and forth of like trying to figure out size. You make this frame the size that you want. No matter the size image that you bring in, when you snap it to that frame, it is going to adjust automatically to that size. There's times when that's a lifesaver and a time saver in designing. Okay. So we're going to come back to frames. So devices for mockups. You have that here. Y'all see I use that in my, so for this one, when I took my image and this was a frame, I just dropped it in there for my promo, like, you know, for ads and promo posts and things of that nature. So there's when I say it's a lot of options, a lot of assets. And every last one of these, you don't see a crown on it. This is part of those millions of free assets that Canva offers. And then there's like paper where it's ripped and you can take these and put them in different areas. They don't have to be, like you don't have to see the whole thing. Like this one right here. This is actually, if I take this and shrink it down, this is one of the shapes. But to give it this illusion that it's a like the top corner of it, we stretched it out. But that actual frame is a full shape. So you will be able to do that with ones that have like ripped edges and scallops. And just explore everything that is here when it comes to frames. Your grids are like frames, but it's setting it up in collage styles. So if you have a newsletter or if you want to easily, without having to go in and arrange all these frames, you want to create a collage of different things that you're doing. You want to then go in and add text over it to make it an easy Facebook post, Instagram post, or a digital scrapbook or whatever. These are all set up for you already, like in the grids. If you're doing newsletters, ebooks, and you want to have pictures in certain places to show different things, the grids are a great resource for that. Okay. And then you have mockups under frames. This allows you to, because you have, someone mentioned the other day, like place it. But you can utilize these if you are someone that does like mugs. Now, you do have to play around with the size a little bit because if you made your design like it's almost like a full wrap, you're not going to see that. It's going to cut things off. So be mindful of that when you're working with certain mockups. Some things will be cut off if your design is not proportional to the space that like they have for the actual image, especially if it's solid and it's a JPEG. Now, when it's a PNG, you have some wiggle room in that because it won't cut it off. It'll adjust it for you. But when it's a JPEG, things will get cut off. Okay. And you can just explore this and see how many different mockups. So you want to go, you're someone that has an ebook, a guide or something. You want people to know that they can use it on their phone. You might just take a screenshot of whatever it is. And then now you go and you put that on the phone. Then you take this and you create a scene that's sitting on a table or in a busy office. And it shows like your creativity and how you use this, you determine that. But they have all of these options here for you, where the phone is in a professionally shot like area and you just put your graphics in there. I've used this for so many different things. We're going to come to here. So, hey, go back up. Here is the iPad mock-up. Here is a phone one. And on this phone one, it's already on there where it looks like an Instagram page. So I'm able to take just the image and just drop it in there, and I'll detach this. So you can see this was just the image, and then this was already set up that way, and I just drop it in there for that. I used one of the grids when I was kind of setting this example up. I used one of the grids for that. Here is, let me see, I think here's another one where I'm showing like a phone and an iPad for the mock-up. I use that actually quite a bit during this presentation. And there's different ones too, okay? Oh, here, that's what I was looking for. The one that's the computer. Then you have the phone without. All right, so those are your mock-ups. And then here are like picture frames. Here's more home living. There's a lot there to explore. So I'm going to take a quick little pause because my mouth is dry. I was doing a whole lot of talking. Wow, we're already at 12:48. So I'm going to run through the rest of these. I didn't realize it's been that long. I'm going to run through the rest of these and we're going to get into the design. Just allow me to get a drink of water. Drop some fire in the chat. If you have questions, raise your hand, drop those in the chat. Let me know what's the best thing that you have learned so far. I didn't have my water bottle in here, but my mouth is really dry, y'all. So I'm going to run to get a drink of water and I will be right back. See, that was quick. Okay, so I don't see, man, I don't even see any fire in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Because I don't see my microphone moving over on Zoom. Can y'all still hear me? Okay, now I see it moving over there. Okay, there we go. But I don't see any fire. I'm guessing this training must be dull. Like y'all must not be learning anything. Because I don't see any fire in the chat. I don't see anything that you have learned. Man, am I doing something wrong? I guess. All right. Well, I'm going to finish my training. Maybe one day you guys will appreciate it or find the value in it. If you're not quite seeing it right now, if it's not useful and helpful for you today, maybe in a few days, a few weeks, a few months, you'll come back and you'll find this training super helpful. Okay. So way over your head is what someone says, right? Oh, wait a minute. I want to kind of go back in here. I wasn't recording. So there is someone that's saying this was way over their head. Good. I want you to feel that way. As I said, there's a lot of things to this software, to this program, to this application, to this app, whatever you want to call it. It does a lot. This is why I was saying you have to identify one or two things that you need it for to start off with so that it's not overwhelming. Okay. So something that you do in Silhouette Studio, she said, I'm so used to Silhouette. You're going to come over here and you're going to do the same thing. You had to go through the same thing when you learned Silhouette. It's identifying, well, what is grouping? What is compound path? Well, this is the trace window. Here is the to upload and things of it's the same things. It's just a different system. You just got to figure out, like, do it step by step by step by step. Joining a class, a program, some type of training. This is me just outlining what it does. I want you to be able to visualize, how can I use this? What is it what is it that Canva offers that I can't do in Silhouette? Silhouette doesn't give you all of these elements to start a design with. You have to bring everything in. Now, I love me some Silhouette. That's still my program of choice, but I'm always bringing things in. Canva offers me more. Canva offers me different tools and resources for other parts of my life and other parts of my business outside of design. You have to identify where you can start at with Canva. Like, okay, I know I can't process and I can't do everything, but in order for me to learn it, I'm going to be dedicated to going into Canva to do what? It might be, I'm going to use Canva to create my Instagram, my Facebook, my social media posts. I'm not going to use it for my design. I'm good over there with Silhouette for that, but I'm going to come here and I'm going to create my social media posts. If that's the angle that you have to take to start off with, you do that. Whenever you want to make a post, a video, whatever, you come into Canva. You want to promote your business, you come into Canva to do it. As you are learning how to master and make these promo videos or promo posts, it doesn't even have to be videos. You're adding animation so that it can become a reel. You're learning what it takes to design. So eventually you might be able to go ahead and complete a design for a specific project in Canva instead of Silhouette Studio. But you have to find a starting point. Like, pick one or two things that you're going to come into Canva to do. That is what I had to do to really get the most out of Canva. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I had to walk away. I'll definitely watch this again in as a whole. So much good info though. All right, cool beans. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, there's some fire in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys for that. Had to step out. I missed the mock-up. This is very useful and some fire. Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Okay. So now let's look at text. We talked about I'm going to kind of go through some of these. So I want to come back to text and then we're going to try and like put some of these designs together. So brand kit, we went over this yesterday, so I'm not going to get back into that. If you missed it, go watch yesterday's video where we talked about the benefits of brand kits. The uploads, we're going to do a design and we're going to do some uploads. Your tools, the tools are like drawing. There are shapes here, but then there's a whole thing for shapes. Adding lines, that's also in elements. If you want to add like a sticky note, there's text here, there's tables. I don't utilize this as often unless I just want to like create a shape or like, so I've gone in, like I want to create like certain effects. So I'll make this, I'm going to make this black and then we'll come here. I'm going to make the weight a little bit thicker. We're going to take that transparency down, but you can always adjust this later. And I'm going, all right, what you doing? This is, so you can see how it also like, oh, I'm going to come back. I'm going to undo. I'm going to make this smaller. So, and so I've used it somewhat to do like visual effects for things. I've used it to color in certain areas. So if something is missing like a little bit of color, I've gone in here and like if it like on the very, very end of something, it was missing color, I've gone in and come on now. There we go. You can color in and you can go past the edge because all it's going to show is what's on the actual design page. And even if you have the transparency low, you can always come back in here and, well, hold on. Well, maybe not. It's not adjusting the transparency. You can go lower. I guess you just can't go higher with your transparency. Come on. There we go. It's not a tool that I use very, very often. And then here I can adjust the transparency, take it all the way up. And let me delete this one. And so you can see that as far as adjusting it, there are times when it is. Before, I used to use it to fill in like color behind something. When the remove background removes too much of it, you can use it to replace color, or you can use the you can go back in there to pixel eraser to remove that as well. Projects, we talked about this. It's just folders to organize. Like it will be there. If you upload PDF files, it will be under projects, not under uploads. If you upload PSD files, it will be in projects instead of under uploads. Oh, we didn't go to uploads and things you can upload. I'm going to go back to that. But here you'll see all design, everything, only your designs, only your folders, only images that you have brought in, any videos that you have brought in or created, they will show up there. Your apps, it's a bunch of apps. Developers are adding new apps to this every single day. Things that you could not do yesterday, you'll be able to do tomorrow because somebody's going to add a new app to it. I do go through in the training some very useful apps depending on what it is that you need for Canva to do, like whatever extra things you need. One of the ones that I will use in this training today is Image Blend or Image Blender. Okay, wait, not Image Blender, not Blend. There are two different ones. So this one will allow you to fade off the edges of images. It has to be the raw image. It can't be in a frame because then it's going to look kind of weird. But see here where you have the linear and radial, they're free. Everything else is locked, and you would have to upgrade to their plan in order to unlock those things. So let me see if you go upgrade. It wants to open, so then you'll go open over here and it'll tell you however much this costs. I never even looked over here to see how much it costs. Oh, there it is. See, it is. Now I can't tell if this is $19.99 a month. If that's the case, they have lost their ever-loving mind, or if it is $19.99 one time. I can't really tell. Like this is very because it says start your 3-day free trial. So I'm not sure if it's like a one time for $19.99 or a month, because baby, if it's monthly, I have lost y'all ever-loving mind. So I don't know. Like I've never really gone in to see this particular one and how much they charge, but that is, you have to go to their premium one for that to unlock all of the other features. Okay. And then image blend image, it offers different options. You have like a reflection or a shadow creator. There is a background remover in here. There's a lot of different apps. Ones for text, ones to build, like to create frames, a lot of apps. Okay. Your magic medium is image creation, utilizing AI and to create different images. Your audio, we went over that already. Your videos, same thing. It's like it's accessing the same things that was in Elements. Okay. So I wanted to just kind of get through those. Your background is the actual background, because you can make images the background, you can make colors the background, and like just change that out, and you don't really move, like it's there. You, in order to move it around, you have to double click in to like go into crop mode. But that's what backgrounds like are. But anything can really become a background. Anything. You just right click on it, and so see, detach image from background. This is what that image was, but now I'm going to replace background. And it had I already had like the transparency down on and stuff like that originally. So when I released it and put it back, it was back at full strength. But you can make anything your background. If I go like here, it's going to automatically replace it. So let's say if I found this image in the Elements, I would have to bring it on there and then tell it to replace the background. When you're in background, anything that you click on automatically replaces that background. Okay. Bulk create. This is a really cool feature. Not really for beginner, like I say, it's not for beginner, but not for what we're doing here. In the full training, you'll learn bulk create. I use it for so many different things. A lot of the teachers that I work with personally, they use bulk create to create a lot of things for their classrooms, especially have to repeat things with a bunch of students' names on it, their certificates. So I've worked with quite a few teachers, especially at the end of the year, when it comes to putting those names in, like for certificates, instead of doing them one by one, they have their spreadsheet like from their class, and Canva does it for them automatically, and it produces all of them automatically. It's been a game changer for teachers. I love all of my clients that are teachers. They've given me, because of them, I've learned a lot of things through Canva for like helping them develop things for their classrooms. I figured out a lot of stuff, about Canva because of that. All right. So those are those. Let's see. Translate is really cool. If you have content and you want to make it where it's in a different language, if you are someone who has a company and you have those whose primary languages are different things, you can use Translate to change the text on there. So I'm going to duplicate this page, and then we're going to go to Translate and translate to, I don't even know what most of these are. I'm going to pick anything. Okay. Translate the pages, select text from current page, and you can do it that way, but I'm going to just go pages, and I want it to do the current page. I'm going to go done and translate. I don't even know what language that was, but it's going, boom, it translated it for me. Okay. We can go to, I'm just going to type it in Spanish. And what's the tone that we want for it? It says optional, so I'm not going to do that original. We're just going to go translate. And there we go. I don't know who speaks Spanish. I don't know. Now you have to check it to make sure that they wrote it in the correct order and all that kind of stuff. But you have this file. Oh, actually, it created the duplicate for me. That was one I don't have to duplicate, because you see how now I have these other ones down here. So every time you translate, it's going to create a new file with everything already in it. Whatever changes, it's going to create it for you, and it's going to be in the new language. All right. So that's pretty dope. One of the features I do like. I'm going to click on this whole thing, hit delete on my keyboard, and it's going to delete all of those extra ones. Okay. Charts we already went through. AI voice is I hate the fact they took away voiceovers. This is like a voiceover, but it's an AI voice. They don't allow you to use your own voice anymore, and I don't like that. captions, adding captions to videos and things of that nature. So that's that. All right. Now we're going to go into uploading and do some text and kind of like put together like look at a design. All right. Let's see here. Go in and I'm going to try and get us out of here by 1:30. Okay. So just bear with me. With so many apps available, that's confusing too. Yes, it can be. I do love the transparency. I use it often. Why sometimes you have to download, then upload to finish designing? I see this on YouTube. Is it because you can't save it to add more elements? I hope this makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Great question, Valerie. As we're going through these designs, I'm going to be able to answer that for you, okay? So let's talk about uploads real quick. I'm going to go to the home page. You can upload media here. That icon is the same no matter where you're at. But if you go uploads, you can drag and drop from a file straight to Canva. So if I come here, I'm about to design a shirt for my son. I'm going to design in silhouette, but I have these images here. I'm going to drag and drop this in. And so it's going to ask me, do I want to use it in a new design? Do I want to edit the image? If I go to edit the image, it takes me into the editor where I can change. Y'all saw me do this yesterday. I can change the perspective of it. I can, before I put it in my design, I can adjust the colors of it. I can eliminate all of this negative space around this before I bring it into my design, which is going to be important for certain transitions. So I'm just going to go here. It's going to shrink that down. And we're going to, you can either download this. So you can use this as an editor and then be able to download it and take it into other programs. So I'm just going to go save. Okay. And then we have the original one. And then now we have the one where the background, we eliminated all of that negative space. So you can upload that way, or we can upload and then take it right into a design, and we'll go and tell it that we want to, so I'll bring in another one. I'll bring in this one so I can drag. Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to do that one. I want to go upload. I'm going to say upload files. It's going to open up your desktop, or on your phone, it'll say gallery. I'm going to choose an image. And then it's going to come here. If I put in a new design, it's then going to give me all of those same options that we saw. Well, what type of design do you want to start this with? Because it's going to resize this based off of what it is that we select. Is it going to be a Facebook post? Is it going to be, and you can do custom sizes as well. So if I wanted to start a design, we're going to come to inches. That was 11 by 17. We're going to go create new design. And it's going to place that there. It looks like it placed it. No, it didn't. I'm like, why did it like it place it inside of a frame, but it didn't. So now this is here, and I get to resize it, move it around to start creating the design. But if I knew I wanted to, I was going to use this in the design. There's 11 by 17, 13 by 19. I make it that, it brings it in. Now, when you are in a design and you go to uploads, you can simply drag and drop the same way. So if I'm over here, and go Canes, we're going to win this time. Okay, we're not going to let Ohio beat us this time. Okay. Where am I? Okay, where's the download? Oh, here it is right here. So I can go to my downloads folder. And when I drag it up, if I bring it over to the design page, or I can bring it over here. Even if I bring it over here and drop it in, it's going to show up only in the uploads section. Okay. I'm going to delete that. If I drag it over the actual design area, it's going to add it to the design, but also put it in the upload. So most times I drag and drop to the actual design area, unless it's a whole bunch of things, and I'll bring it over here and then bring in what I need and what I don't need. but it will automatically add it to the design area as well as in your uploads. You can upload full folders. So if you have, let's say you downloaded something from Creative Fabrica, it had backgrounds, it had a bunch of PNGs or JPEGs or SVGs, you can actually upload that entire folder to Canva. When we go to upload, if you go to the bottom, it tells you everything, like all the file types that you can upload. You can upload JPEGs, PNGs, HEICs, which is like the high efficiency ones. That's normally how like iPhones default to take pictures. And you have web files. This is pretty cool because programs like Photoshop, you can't open up those web files. So Canva allows you to, and then you can easily convert it. So you use Canva as a pass-through. You upload that web file, then you go in, and when you save it or download, you download that as a JPEG or a PNG. Now it can be read in a program like Photoshop. So that's pretty cool. Videos, Move or MOV, GIFs, MP4s, MPEGs, MKVs. These are all file formats. If you like, for me, I work in MKVs because of the editing software that I use. It's normally just the video and it removes the audio, and I can like put my own voice over on it. When it comes to files, you can bring in PDF files, Word files, PowerPoint, Excel files, Illustrator files. They don't have it here, but you can also bring in SVGs, EPSs, PSD files, so Photoshop files. You can upload those directly to Canva. And then you can bring in folders, but your folders has to contain one of the approved, or it has to contain the approved file formats. If it's ones that it does not open, then that folder isn't going to operate correctly. But you can drag and drop full folders. If you bring in a folder, it shows the folder with all the assets in it under projects. If you bring in files, they're just going to be either in uploads or in projects. All right, so now let's go to, where is my file? All right, so right here. So that is uploads and bringing them in. You also can hit upload files. And when you do that, it just opens up the window to like search your computer. So where we did it from uploads there, if you hit upload files here, it's going to open up the file on your computer. You can also record yourself. You also can upload, like, just not images, you can upload audios. Oh, that's what it was missing. You can upload MP3 files. So if you have your own audio, your own voice over, whether it was like from the voice recorder from your phone or anything like that, you can bring in your own audio as well. Okay. So that is uploads. And then text. We're going to go through text through this design. So under text, you can search for certain fonts and combinations. Once you open it up, you'll see the fonts as well. You click here to simply add a text box. You can always resize that to make it bigger. It's going to come in small. Don't feel like you are restricted to that size. You just pull that little circle and you make it bigger. You can change the weight here. However, depending on the size of this, as you increase the, well, this one, you increase the weight. When you're typing things out, we're going to go to, now this one doesn't want to, because it'll jump to another line. So, because if this is shrunken in, just depends on, maybe like with, actually that's more so when you come here. So if I come to this one, I'm going to ungroup and see how now it's starting to jump. Hey, stop. Jump to the next line. That's when you're using the pre-done font combinations. But when you just do the text box, it is kind of unlimited until you make the adjustments. All right, so you can also do magic write from here. Remember, before we saw the magic write, so if you want to start off with AI generated content and copy, you can start with magic write. There are some design features to give your text a little bit of pizzazz. So the type studio, where it's adding, I'm just going to come here real quick, where you can add different effects to it. This is a pro feature. So you can see all of this. This is where you don't have to be a designer. You just go in here and you're going to say, I want this one. And you're going to type in, we create. Okay, so it's like wave. You choose the font. Every font that's available on Canva isn't always in these like apps and options like that. So be mindful of that. You have to select the font from what's available. You can't just take what you have over here and then just apply it. It has to be available for that particular app. Okay. And then you go in, you play around with what kind of a warp effect do you want. The decorations that's on it. So if it is like that, you can change the color. You can add different shades to it, which is like kind of like the 3D effect. You can add different textures. You can make it a gradient. So there's a lot of design options here. You don't have to be a designer to know how to actually create these things, but you don't have to be an artist to know how to create them, but being a designer to know like what type of feature, how do you want it to look on your design? And you just have to go through all of these options and click on them. You may have to play around with them to really get it how you want it, and you may put it in there. Okay, I don't want that. You have to go back in and edit it, but it just makes it where you don't have to know how to do 3D effects like how we would do this in Photoshop or Illustrator and things of that nature. Okay, and then there's a lot of different templates here to start with. And then we'll come back out of here. So Typecraft allows you to like warp it. Then you have motion text, extrude, and these are all pro features. Now with the extrude, if I am, so same thing here, you have to choose one of their fonts, and then you're just going to add this to the design. You can always change it, and then choose update element. If you change the font, you'll see the change up here, update element. So you're able to do that with the premium text options. So type lettering, these are all pro features. The gradient, you used to have to use this one, but they have now added gradients to just your standard text, and you don't have to have pro. When you're on text and you click on the A, you're going to see some gradients here, but if you just hit the plus sign, you're going to see solid color and gradients. And you hit the plus sign to add different color gradients. And you have linear 180. Now with the other ones, you have more control over the way that gradient, like you pull that gradient in. With the one that's available to you for free, you only have these options, nothing else. You cannot change it from this and move things around. But this is the one for like the free version. The gradient for pro, you have more control over how you how that gradient shows up. Okay. Here are font combinations. If you're not strong with choosing the right type of, like the right font, and you're afraid to combine things, just explore what's here. It gives you a good starting point. You can always ungroup it. Or maybe you just see like, oh, I like one of these fonts, but not the other. You go in, you add it to it, and then you can ungroup it. If you don't want this one, you delete it. And then the font that you did like, you come up here, you change the color, and then you change out the text. Okay. But it gives you a good starting point, and explore different options and different combinations that you may not have thought of, especially if you're like some that just stick to like the same font. This allows you to explore different options and different effects that you wouldn't be able to just, innately do on your own. All right. Once you have the text, whether you are creating a text box, if you're using font combinations, if you are using the different apps, what you do here is it's going to be a little bit, I say different, but there are some options here. So we're going to go through those. Oh, also new feature, maybe about like a year, 2 years now, is adding page numbers. So if you're creating a book, a coloring book, an e-guide, whatever it is, you're able to automatically number the pages without having to go in and do them. And as you move the pages around, the page number automatically update. So you don't have to, if you move page 30 to page 25, now you have to remember to go in there, manually type it in and change it to 25. It does it for you with the page numbering, okay? So we're going to delete this and we're going to go, what happened here? All right, there we go. Don't know how my croissant, but that's because this right here is a frame. So what happened, I didn't notice it. My croissant moved into my frame because that shape was a frame. Frames can be filled with colors, gradients, or images. And because there was no shape in the way that frame was, this particular one was set up with a frame for that area. So we're going to undo. So text, when you go into you notice here, there's no edit for text. There is effects for text. When it comes to adding shadows and lifts and outlines and things of that nature, you have to do it from effects, and you cannot stack effects or combine them on one line of text. If you want multiple effects, you have to duplicate them, line them up, and then group them together. Okay. But you have splice, hollow. You can explore all of these different options when it comes to text. I'm going to do an outline. And then here is where you would change the color of that. You can change the thickness. Now this goes to the outside. Remember before when you put the stroke on it and it was to the inside? This one goes to the outside, unlike shapes. All right, it's behind it. That's why I wanted to show that one, that it is different than the shapes. Now, if I wanted to, now this one does this little weird thing. It had this like weird part on the end, but I guess as I zoomed in, it's not there. So that's good. So if I want to have a shadow on this, I need to duplicate this text. I'm going to click on the one in the back, go back to effects. I'm going to go to shadow. I'll blur that out some, change the transparency on that, and then put this one on top so that I have the blur. Now, let's say I want to adjust that. This is something that you can only do from the desktop version, and that is hold down Control. So if I click here, it's selecting this one, right? That effect is the outline. But I'm going to hold down Control and click. You see how that jumped up to the shadow? Because that's actually selecting the one that's behind it. So now I can adjust that shadow without having to move the top one. Just use Control or Command on a Mac and then click, and it will select the one behind it. And you can go in and change the color, change the blur, change the transparency, all of those things. Okay. Also, with text, they make it very easy to okay, so I need to do it. I'm going to make this one white for now. I'm going to make it white. Okay. Now, I want you to pay attention. If you can see it down here, I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to make this red. And I guess, hold on, there might not be another one. This must not be white. Hold on, let's see. This is, circular gradient. Okay. I'm just going to make you white for now. And then let's come back over here and let's make this white again. Okay, so pay attention to the kickoff, right? If I go here to the white and I go to the color and I'm going to make it pink, it's going to say change all. It's not going to change just what's here. It's going to change wherever white text pops up within this design. It's going to change that to pink. That makes designing a little bit easier. We don't have to go to every single page and change all of the text. If you don't want it to change, just simply don't hit change all. Okay. If you have a lot of text on a page and you want all of the white text to change on that particular page, I'm just going to duplicate a bunch of these. Where you see it change at, you want to go there. You want to lock that page and then change the text, change all. You see it only changed here. It did not change this page. And now that we're done with that change, we just come over here and unlock the page so that it just doesn't change. But you can change all the text. It'll be the same way for the fonts as well. So if I come here and I select this one, it's going to say, do I want to change everywhere that tan headline appears? I want to change it to Brittany. If you do, you click that. It changes everything. So you see how it changed my by one? It changes everything. And it changed the top layer as well as the back layer because I changed the font. Change all of those change. If you don't want it to, you can skip that. Or if you make a mistake and change it, you can always hit undo. It's going to put the other ones back to where they were and just leave that one in the new font. Basic things like bold, italicize, underline. This allows you to change all lowercase letters to uppercase without having to go in. If it's a font that has lowercase, some fonts are made where they're all uppercase like this one. But you click here and it automatically changes it all to all caps where you don't have to erase it, put caps lock on, and then type it out. This is your alignment, how you can make a list, whether it's number or bullet points. This one here allows you to adjust the letter spacing. And if you have more than one line, you can adjust the line spacing. Okay. Your transparency is the same. We went over your effects, animate. So here you'll see the animation options are different than the standard ones for here. So these are the ones for elements. And when you get to the bottom for general, they're the same. But when you go to text, their main animations change. Okay. Position will do the same thing. Copy style. If I go here and I go copy style and I click on get one, it's going to change it to that font, that size, that color, that effect, that animate. If this had an animation on it, this one would have an animation on it. So it makes it easy to navigate through these and it without having to manually repeat every single action or every single effect that's on one thing. You can just do it on the other, okay? So that's text. And then for images, we kind of went over that, and you can change out different filters to make things look brighter, to change the colors on them, make them black and white. You have shadows. Under shadows, you can make a glow around things, a drop shadow, an outline, curve, and you can adjust the blur on it. As you can see, when you adjust these, it makes the image smaller. So you will have to go in and make it bigger, because remember what I said, it does not stretch, skew. It keeps everything within the proportions. So you can't go outside of that bounding box. So because it added that shadow, it can't go to the outside of it. It's going to keep it inside, make it smaller, and then you would have to go in and resize it. All right. Everything else is the same. You will see a flip here for images, but if we go to text, you don't see that. So when someone asks, why do people download and then bring it back in? For things like text, you cannot mirror text. So if they needed to design that text, have it on the page, save it with like a transparent background as a PNG so that they can bring it back in and then mirror it, they have to do the download. If you wanted to add multiple colors or multiple outlines without having multiple images, you have to download that, bring it back in so that you can keep adding outlines to it because you cannot stack them. So if I go to edit, I go to shadow, I'm going to go to outline, make this a little bit smaller. If I wanted to have another outline around this, I have to make a duplicate. Undo. I duplicated the wrong thing. I have to make, there we go. Okay, there's more than one. I have to make a duplicate. And then let's say on this one, I go into edit, I go into shadows. I'm going to make that, make any color, and I'm going to change the size of it. And then I would have to line this up because remember, it makes it smaller. So now I got to figure out how to make this bigger so that it lines up perfectly and I can have that outline. You have to find the perfect size. But if I were to download just this with the outline on it, then I go and I bring it back into Canva. I'm able to add a new outline. It's going to go to the outside of that, and I don't have to worry about resizing. Either way, you have multiple steps to do. It's just up to you on how many steps you want to have. If you wanted three outlines to this, you would need 3 croissants, or you would need to download it 3 times, like twice, to be able to put the different outlines on it. It's easier for some people to just delete that from their phone or their computer compared to having 3 on the screen. And now you have to manage each one of those. If you forgot to group it, now you go and you move this one. It's like, oh crap, I got to go back. Now let me find all of them, group them together or select them, move them, resize. Like, it can be a lot. So it just depends on how you want to maneuver through your design, which way works best for you. You have to discover that. Okay. We're going to go edit, shadows, none. Oh, this changed. I'm going to come here. We're going to change this to here and change that. Remember when I talked about text and having the shape and you can either type in the text or you can layer it? This is an example of that. So with this one, it's inside the shape. So as you're adding text to it, it's changing the size of that shape. Even if you go in and you make just the font itself bigger, it's going to change the shape of that. It's going to change that shape. But here, it's a shape and text grouped together. I'm going to ungroup. I can take this text and I can make it bigger to fill out this shape without changing the shape. So there's times where you may want to put it inside the shape, and then there's times where you want them to be separate, and then you will just go ahead and group them together. Now, to round out this, because it's already 1:30, we went a little bit past the time. I'm going to show you something really unique about like this design. Okay, so here, a lot of the times when you're seeing things, they are optical illusions, right? So this looks like this coffee cup is inside of a frame and it is coming out of it. So what was really trending was like the pop out effects, pop out effects. This was trending a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. Now, trying to get that effect in here. If I were to pull this image inside of a frame, I cannot control it being in one particular area. Okay. It's going to take over the whole frame. When it comes to cropping images, you can come like up to here and then maybe like rotate it. You have to do a whole lot of stuff with that, but it's linear in how it's like straight lines in how you crop things off. Sometimes you need an optical illusion. This is one of those times where there is a shape that is placed in the middle that you're able to line that up with the edges of this. So, and it matches the background color. So it looks as if there is a break here and the drink is coming out of, like it's cut off and it's inside this shape and then coming out the top. It's little things like that when it comes to designing where it's good to be in a class that's about designing and learning design tips, tricks, and techniques, not learning the program. Learning the program is when you enroll in our Understanding Canva. We're going to go step by step how we have lessons just for text, lessons just for images, lessons just for videos that we're going to go through for the next 3 months. And once you understand how to now use it, now how do I go and put all these things together in designs? We will create some designs, but understanding like letting that creativity flow. Some people may not have thought to do things like that. Like, okay, let me put something in there to kind of cover it up and things of that nature. That is where your design classes come in at. So you just know how to really leverage these tools. Okay. So that's that one. These are like SVGs. So if I click this color and I change it, it's going to say change all. Everywhere that blue is, it's going to change. Same thing with the orange. I'm going to go here. I either leave just that one or I go change all. So the same way, you saw how it's also changing the shapes around it. Those are shapes, whether it's an SVG or if it's just a shape, anything that is vector and it's filled with color, it will change as well. And that can speed up your design process where you're not changing out every single color, especially if certain things were made to match each other in color. You want to change it somewhere else or change it to a new color. You don't have to click on every single thing and change that color as well. Just hit the change all and it'll change all those colors. Now, those colors show up on different pages. It's going to change there as well. I'm going to run through this, zoom in, zoom out. Using your mouse to scroll, you scroll too much, you're going to jump to the next design. It's not like Silhouette where you can kind of pinpoint and zoom into a particular area. If you really want to be close up, you got to like zoom in and then you have to you can't click on this and move like that. You would have to use the sliders on the sides and on the bottom. To see, so there's different ways you can see the pages like this, and it's going to put them in a list like this for you to go through them. You hide them, lock them, duplicate them, delete them, just add a new blank page, duplicates exactly what's there. You can give each page a title. You can move it up or down in the order from here. You click on it to move it and change the order. You click on the 3 dots to do the things like copy, duplicate, like all those different things. And then you want to see everything as a whole. You have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages. You click right here, grid view, and it shows you everything. Grid view is great if you want to click and drag and delete a bunch of things all at once. The grid view is the best place to do that. Let's come back out of this to the regular view. You can jump to any page from here. And then in between each one, you can add a page or you can add a transition. And that is just how it's going to transition from one page to the next. You can tell it to apply that transition between all the pages. And then as you preview this and it's going through the pages, it will it'll do whatever that transition is. Okay. This is like for slideshows. It's a way that you can also like make transitions for videos when you are looking at, I'm going to come to here. We're going to go back to this one. I'm going to play. So there are different transitions. So there's a bunch of different pages. They each have different things on them, and transitions and animations were applied, but it made it where once it's saved, it's this one video for a reel. Same thing with this one. So there's transitions and animations applied to them. It's a bunch of stuff on different pages. You don't do everything all on one. You may have to duplicate them, add certain things, and then put transitions. Again, we do have dedicated sessions learning those techniques. Last but not least, I talked about it a little bit. We're going to go over how to save, and we will be done, and I will field any questions. So share is where you share, save, download, where you will create links, template links, share links, public view links. There used to be some other options on here because there was a thing on here for like a flip book. They took that away. That's no longer on here. But you have all of your socials. So you can go and post this directly to Instagram, upload it to YouTube, a Facebook page, Twitter, like all of those. If you're doing ads, to go ahead and just, it'll take you to the ad manager. If you're going to print with Canva, this is a third party like drop ship printing. So you go, you complete your design, one of their professional type printers, like let's say Infinite Print Solutions, right? They could go and be under contract with Canva. And so an order will come in and they may assign that to them. They go, they pull the order, they print it out, and they're going to basically send it. They'll have access to like the back end to where when they ship it out, it's like it's shipping from Canva. But Canva themselves don't print. They have third-party vendors that produce it and ships it out, which is why the quality sometimes is inconsistent. Then you can save it. So you can simply download it. You can download a selection. More than one thing has to be selected in order to download it as a selection. Then up here, if you're going to save it as a brand template, like what you have there, you want to make that a template that you'll use every single time. You make that a brand template. Presenting is doing the slideshow. Public view link, someone can look at it. They cannot edit it. They won't be able to comment it. They're just able to look at it. Template link, when you want to sell it, it gives you the link. You have to take that link and then put it in some type of document so that when they open it, they can click on the link, or you can just copy and paste the link and post it somewhere and they click on it. You can create a QR code. This is moving it, which we talked about before. And then if it's going to be a website. Now, when you go to download, this is how you are saving it. You have to download it in order to save it. You have the options of JPEGs, and these are all free options. When you come to PNGs, you have to have Pro in order to compress the file or to save with a transparent background, but you can technically save it in a PNG format. It just won't have a transparent background without Pro. You have PDF standard. This is what you want to use when you have documents that have hyperlinks in it. Like if you're going to make the PDF that you attach as your digital download for someone to get to your file, it needs to be a PDF standard. Do not flatten it so that those hyperlinks are active. If you want it password protected, you can do that. PDF print, it flattens it out. This is if you want to print, but I mean, I use PDF standard also. PDF standard, when you open that somewhere else, it will be fully editable. So if I open that in like in Word or Silhouette Studio or Illustrator or Adobe, I can move things around and I can select those items and move them around. When you do it as print, it flattens it and it's just going to be almost like a JPEG to them. You have SVGs. Oh, you can't just make any and everything in SVG. If it's an image, it can't be an SVG. It had to be a vector file. And now when you open that SVG up in a program like Silhouette Studio, a program like Illustrator, you'll be able to ungroup them, release compound path, and like separate them and do certain things with, like do other things with it. MP4 is just video. GIFs is short, no sound. So, you know, you see the memes and the GIFs and things on social media. You can create your own via Canva. And then, of course, a PowerPoint presentation. So these are all of your download options. You can choose to do all pages. You can do the current page, whatever page is there. So you just select that. It deselects everything else. You also can come up here, and if you want specific pages, so I want 2, 6. Hold on. I'm going to come here. So page 2. Why are you not doing it? Okay, let me see something. See, it's supposed to put the comma. 5. Why are you not letting me put in my comma? Because you don't always have to come in here and do this. It normally lets me type it, which is kind of weird. But just put in commas or just go through and select the pages that you want. And it will only download those pages in the video, in the PDF, any pages that are hidden. When you go to save, they won't be a part of that download, whether it's a video, a file, a PDF, just whatever it is, it won't be a part of that if that page is hidden in the design area. All right. So that's all of that about sharing and saving and downloading. Whew, that was a lot. That was a lot. I know. That was a lot, but hopefully it's great information for you. All right, so let's see here. I use this section, good section for text. I want to create an ebook. All right, so you can definitely do that here. I've created several of them. If you use an element, can you match the color to something you already have? So they do have this thing that's like style. Okay, so let me see. If you use an element, can you match the color to something you already have? So I think what you're asking is to sample, which I didn't go over that. That's a great question. Let me go back into sharing. And we're going to go over here for you guys. So let's say I'm going to come over. Let's see, which one should we do? You said element. Now, it depends on like what it is. So here, this is oh, wait, let me turn off my camera, my video. This is an SVG. So like if I change the red, it's going to change just that, right? So if I want this to be, let's say this shade of pink, you're going to go to the plus sign. You're going to go to the color dropper, and I'm going to hover over it, and I'm going to choose this shade of pink. I'm going to go to this green and go to the color picker, and let's do the tip of this one right here, and it's going to change it. So if that's what you were referring to, yes, you can go in and sample colors. They have this new thing, which is styles. So I'm going to go to elements. We're going to go to edit. And you can style match where, let's say with this, we're going to make it where it's something that's etched. It is AI. It is going to change the element. It's not going to truly give you the same exact result back. It's going to alter it a little bit. It's matching, it's trying to read it and it's going to match it up. Like you can make it etched, you can make it line art. If something was like a coloring book page, you want to transfer something else to a coloring book page, you can do that, but it is not always the exact. So I'm going to copy this because I forgot to do it, and we're going to undo, and then I'm going to paste. There we go. So it changed this up. It is not the exact one in any way, shape, or form. The sizing of it has changed. The leaf has changed. Everything has changed with this. So it's never going to give you that result back. It is going to alter because it's using AI. But there is a style match. The other thing, I mean, I showed it a little bit, but let's go with, so like with this one, I don't know if it'll do this because it's not a shape. Yeah, that's just going to go to the outside. Let's do, let's just add another shape here. And I'm going to make this a different color. So I'm going to come here, style, and then go like that. And it changed everything. It gave it, it curved the corners. It made it blue. It put the line, the dashed lines. It changed the colors of it. If I go here and I go style, and I want to copy the art style and change this one to that, it will do that. So there are ways to kind of match things, but it depends on what it is that you're wanting to do, because it's different rules for each thing. And I gotta just wait for that to process. Thanks. You are the GOAT. They didn't know. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Any questions, comments, concerns? I did drop the link. I would love to have you guys in the Understanding Canva 3-month program. Every single week, there's a different lesson. Now, they will take place at a time that's probably not quite convenient, but I'm doing it in a way to where it's going to be shorter classes. I will upload those playbacks within a couple of hours after the session. So that way you'll have the entire day. If you are available at 5 p.m., go in, watch that lesson, follow along, and we will have study hall sessions at different times of this. So you'll have a study hall session in the evening. It's not like every single day, but there are scheduled times for study hall sessions where you will be able to come in, share your screen, ask certain questions. But we also have a community where you can ask questions at any time as you're going through the lessons, okay? There are several options for the to enroll, which I will go over after we complete the full-on lesson here. Any other questions? Don't be shy. Ask your questions. I know we're running into the 3-hour mark, but if you have questions, it's better for you to ask them and have them be on the recording, especially if you don't plan to enroll in the full program. Going once, going twice. All righty. There we go. So no questions asked. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today. Hopefully it was helpful for you. There's a lot that you can learn from this. We had 2 hours and change, or like a little under 2 hours yesterday. We got nearly 3 hours today with some information on how you can utilize Canva, going through where things are and just seeing how they work and what all it has to offer. So there's a lot of information here that you can build upon, even if you don't join us, but we would love to have you and get you fully trained in all things Canva, and really honing in on how you can utilize Canva for whatever visuals you need, whether it's videos for your social media, if it's something for your business, if it's something to help you on your job, if it's something for you personally. Like we use it for our calendar, our family calendars, our charts, and our our seizure report and medicine report for Zion Imani. We have our grocery list chart on there. So we have like a family folder that has like all of those things in it. I use it to create videos for Zion Imani. MJ uses it for school project. Like there's so many ways that you can use Canva, and it has really helped with like time management and just being efficient with my day. Canva has truly helped because I'm not going into a bunch of different programs or apps and I'm getting lost. I kind of have my Canva open. I might have 30,000 windows open at the top, but it makes it really easy for me to click back and forth if I needed to jump to the calendar to see if MJ had an activity, if Zion Imani had an activity. Ooh, I'm able to just click on that and see it without having to always go to the calendar on my phone. The calendar on my phone is great if I'm out and about. But when I'm here at my desk, I have all of those things open and it's just a quick snapshot and I can just flip through the different tabs. This has helped me tremendously in business and in life. So I hope that you find how to make Canva work for you because it is a very powerful, powerful system. All right. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. But if you would like to hear about more about the training and the options for it, do stick around. All right. Peace. All right. So I just had to stop the live stream for that and the recording. But if you want to know about the training, the full training, so it's going to run for 3 months, but you will have an additional 3 months. So you don't have to feel rushed to learn like everything. But I also don't want to overload. One of the things that I have learned is to not overload. Like this right here. Can put a 5 in the chat if this was information overload. Oh, it was raising my hand. Haha. Put a 5 in the chat if it was information overload for you. All right, so I see a couple of 5s. Even when you're in a class, before I used to try and like give you as much as possible, and because people are eager to learn it, and I'm finding that adults are impatient with learning new things. It's like it's like a shiny object. It's like, oh, someone said, I want to learn everything. I want to learn it all. It's really hard to learn it all because there's so much. You have to pace yourself. I'm a little bit different. Like I've had 26 years. I was introduced to graphic designs. So it does make it a little bit easier for me as I'm navigating through new programs because I understand certain fundamentals because I've been doing this for a really long time. And I want to apply that to how I teach. So we're doing 3 months. Once, as of right now, it is once a week because I know everyone's is busy. You may have another job, like an outside job of your business and things of that nature. Your schedule is kind of packed. So trying to, if you don't have a lot of disposable time and like just free time to really dedicate to learning, like when our kids are in school, they have no choice but to go to school from anywhere from 5 to 8 hours per day. They have no choice. When you pay for college, you got to show up. Like you're not trying to like fully juggle a full class load and work and kids. I mean, some people do it and it can be a burnout, but then also like a business, there's balance to it. Since this is not like for some, like, working towards like a degree, although it can help you, I'm trying my best to keep it in shorter classes for certain things. Now, if you decide to join all 3 programs, that means you're going to be in classes 3 days out the week, and that's on you, right? But I want to break it down. So for the understanding one, like we will spend an entire day on nothing but text. It might seem boring to do, but you need to really understand those texts and let it process. So we'll have a session for text, for editing videos, for putting to like for understanding and editing shapes and doing the different things to the shapes, going into the spreadsheets and doing basic things with the spreadsheets. That one can be a beast because there's so much to it with like adding sales. But if you don't need that lesson, you don't have to attend that lesson. Don't feel obligated to participate in that lesson if it's not something that you really, really need. If you need to do something else, that is perfectly fine. But we're doing it as of now once a week for 3 months from, well, really the second week in January. So it'll be next week, Tuesday is when the first session will start. And for 3 months, every Tuesday, it is a morning session. And there will be study hall sessions scheduled for the evening to go over things that we have taught for like within like a 2-week period or like a month period. You are able to enroll with $25.63 today, and you'll get access. Like there's a more like what we did here, but it's a more detailed training that I did last week. And you'll also get the playback. So if you just want to listen in on those, it's somewhat the same information, but slightly different. The file that you saw me working from, we actually are going through that. So you'll get that file, you'll get some other design assets as well to help you. And that gets you into the community, that gets you the playbacks from the more detailed sessions where we really broke it down. And of course, you'll be there ready to go for the first 2 weeks of the program. And then the payment for it, we did change. We didn't do monthly. We did it where it's every 2 weeks. We're trying out something. We may end up changing that one, but there are some reasons why we're just testing that one out. And that is something that you should do in business. You should test out different things. Some things may work, some things may not, but you won't know until you test them out to see how it works for you, your business, and your audience and your customers. So there is like a 2-week option. And it's $15.63. It's going to be automatic. So you just got to make sure that your card has $15.63 on it every 2 weeks, or you can choose to enroll in it for 6 months, and you will get all 3 months of the trainings. And then you'll have that 3-month period where you have the information there and you're able to practice it. If you're not able to go in and practice those things within that 6 months time frame, you have to start to think about your discipline. If you're not learning it, you have to start thinking about your discipline. And you always have the option to go to the 2-week. And by then we may have a monthly option where you can do with like no commitment and just kind of go in 1 month so that you can go in there and practice and work on it and things of that nature. If you want to do it that way, you absolutely can. So there is a 6-month option. If you pay for it one time, it's $163.65. If you need to use buy now, pay later, there's Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay. You have to like whichever one like approves, because I think there is like some type of approval process. Some of them break it up into 4 payments. Some break it up into 6. And Affirm, depending on the amount, they'll give you even more time. But I think that part is based off a credit check. But there's ways to break that down. So that is $173.65 if you want to use any of the buy now, pay later options. You get full access to it immediately, and then you just got to worry about paying them folk on their end. But as far as me and you are locked in. You just got to pay them. All right. So those are the current options. You can pay for it every 2 weeks. You can pay for all at once for the 6 months, or all at once with the buy now, pay later option. Any questions on the payment options? What are you guys' thoughts? Even if you're watching over on YouTube, what are your thoughts on Canva? Are you looking at Canva in a different light? Were you someone, I asked the question yesterday, but I'll ask it again today. Like, how many of you just thought of Canva as nothing but just a design platform to replace Silhouette Studio, replace Photoshop, because to design your t-shirts, design your party favors, design your banners and things of that nature? You only saw it as that. You did not realize that it had all of these other benefits to your life and your business. So PayPal is, if you choose the 163, but as far as the monthly reoccurring, you cannot put that on PayPal. When it comes to like the 2-week option, you have to put that on some sort of card. PayPal, well, it won't give you the option for PayPal for the subscription base. You can only do PayPal if you're paying for it all in one. And then PayPal has a pay in 4, or like a buy now, pay later option. And you can do that as well. but you cannot put reoccurring subscriptions on PayPal. Let's see. I've been sleeping on it and not really know what it could do. Yes, in full, you definitely can choose the PayPal option. I didn't realize everything Canva could do until taking your classes. Okay, awesome, awesome. And no comments over here on YouTube. What's the first thing that you guys want to go into Canva to try and create? What's the first thing you want to? And then ultimately, once you learn it, what is something that you feel like Canva would be a great asset to you? Like for me, it's the spreadsheets. I mean, I know Excel. I'm an Excel. I know Excel spread. I build databases in Excel and Microsoft Access. But the visual part of Canva, I really like, and being able to edit from my phone. I showed yesterday, like I took a picture of myself. And so for cataloging things, for inventory control, like I love that to where it automatically updates everywhere. So that's one of the ones for me. And I want to create like a secondary website utilizing Canva's website option. If you are someone that does print things and customize, would you consider letting your clients design in Canva and just share the file with you so that you can see it? If you need to make any adjustments, you can, and then save it yourself. Would you, any of you guys consider that? Because that'll save time for you. I didn't know Canva had different options to make designs or products until I saw your session today. I want to create service programs, but start using spreadsheets and websites. That's a great idea. And someone says yes. So yeah, the service programs, I mean, I won't be teaching that part of it. As there are some groups and there are some educators where they specialize in that, and their classes teach like how to do the things. Like, okay, this is how you're going to add your tags. This is how you're going to bring in the image. They're giving you different ideas for setting them up. One of the things that I will say is if you have, like, whenever you're taking any of those classes, this is just a little professor advice. When you're taking any of those classes, a lot of the times they are using AI generated images, and those don't always work well. They don't work well in the real world unless that person has a professional picture that was taken and it's great quality. You have to do all this adjusting to it. When you're using these AI generated images to create these things, it looks great. But then when you get the customer images, it's like, okay, this doesn't fit in here. This doesn't look right. I can't get this to size right. If you, well, you know, I'm pretty sure we all have loved ones that have passed on. I recommend turning those, like whatever you learn, taking images from different family members, or you can do celebrities that have passed on because they got images all over the place. Good ones, bad ones, ones that paparazzis took, and it just, or you know, paparazzi taking family photos, and you can take that and like put that inside of a design because it's giving you a real world like example of like how you're going to get pictures. Not everything is great. Not everything is at the right angle. A lot of times they're teaching these classes, they're picking the perfect angles like for the main picture and then using that to like fade it. Like it's not always that way. Your client isn't going to give you that many great options. So always take that information, apply either family or go in and download a bunch of different pictures from the internet of those that you know have passed on. You know, not just like some random folk and they be like, wait a minute, I ain't dead. Why am I on this obituary? But they'll teach you more design layouts and things of that nature. They're normally, I think some of those classes teach you about like either pricing or marketing. So it's not as much time in really learning the program, or you'll have to take multiple classes to now learn a different technique or a different tool. And that is fine. Still take the time to learn the program itself so that when you're in those classes, it starts to click and it makes sense and you don't feel like the instructor is moving too fast. I teach you the program, how to understand it, how to use it, not necessarily how to create specific types of like designs and for specific things. Okay. Back to the price. What is the total price? And also, how many teachings are there? It is once a week for 3 months. So from January to the end of March. That would, and I think because some of them have like the Tuesdays, like 5 of them. I'll go through it right now. Let me see. Let me go to it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Tuesdays in January. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 in February, and I knew one of them had 5. March has 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 4, 8, 12, 13 sessions. Okay. For those 3 months. And so if you decide that you just want to pay for the full 6 months access, that's $163.65. If you're going to use buy now, pay later, it's $173. So if you're going to use Klarna, Afterpay, or Affirm, it's $173.65. But if you're just going to use your credit, debit card, or PayPal and just pay for it, it's $163. That will just give you access to the full 6 months. If you are doing the payments, that would be so let's say you want to pay for it, you only want to pay for the 3 months. If you feel like you can work, that might be to where you can save that way. If you feel like you can attend the live sessions or watch the playbacks, and after that 3 months, and while the classes are live, you're going to be good, you don't need anything else or whatever, you don't need that extra time, you'll save yourself some money. You don't need the full 6 months. So you can just pay for it every 2 weeks. So that would be $25.63. Hold on, actually, let me do it this way. So if you do it for 3 months only, you're looking at, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like 6 payments, 6 or 7 payments. I'm just do 7. So $15.63 times 7 plus $25.63, you would end up paying $135 and some change for just the 3 months, not the 6 months. But if you were doing the 6 months, that would be technically double that. So that would be 12, 15, 63 plus 25.63. You would pay $213.19. So of course you save by just selecting the 6 month option. Is the class already on the dashboard to enroll? I dropped the link in there, so I'll drop it again for you. But yes, it's already on. You're already in there, Miss Vanessa. So that's the joy. For those of you that signed up for Understanding Canva, the one that we did in December, the one that we did in like August, October, the joy for you guys you are locked in for a lifetime. So you have unlimited access to it. Technically, you were already enrolled. There's nothing new for you to enroll in. Okay. It's already there. It's already on your dashboard. You just go to it. If you were to click on that link that I put on there, it wouldn't take you to pay for it. It will go to it and it's going to say resume the course or start course if you hadn't been in it yet. But I think you've been to some of the sessions, so you're in that one. So you have access to it. We're taking that, which was just 4 sessions the first time and 3 sessions the second time. And I realized like it is a lot of information. So we decided to make it a 3-month program. If you took action when we dropped it, you are getting that entire thing for $83.65 or $65.63, depending on when you signed up. You're getting it for that amount. You, ma'am, I know for sure, are locked in. There's nothing for you to go and do. Okay? Except attend the Zoom sessions and do the work. That's all you have to do. Now, that lets you know the next time we drop something, when I first drop it, is going to be the best price possible. Take advantage of it. Because once I go into the actual amount, it's going to cost you a whole lot more to be a part of it. Okay? All right. Last call. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. That completely concludes this. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to wait. Do y'all? I'm going to drop the link. Hold on one more time. Just in case, although it's for you guys on Facebook, not Facebook, on YouTube, it's in the description of the video. It is also in the live chat I dropped. You should be able to scroll up to see that, since there aren't that many comments on there. But I also will put it in the comments of the playback. Once I end this, I will put it in the comments of the playback as well. Okay, there we go. So there is the link. All right, y'all. Peace.